Yeah, so here we go. Namaste, everybody. Welcome to the channel again. It's been a long time, and finally, we are going to put some content over here. And this is going to be about the movie that I have watched yesterday, and its name is The Kerala Story 2. And I watched it yesterday on 10th of March 2026 in Cinepolis, Bhopal in Bansal Plaza, and the crowd was, I mean, there were good number of people in the theater. There were all sort of people from all the age groups, and it was a night show, but still, good number of female watchers, turned up because the movie is actually directed at the females, the daughters, the sisters of the Hindu society or of the non-Islamic society per se. So the film is actually widely is being widely criticized. The reviews that I have watched on the YouTube of the reviewers, the certified reviewers who have the followers in millions, like they are criticizing the movie. And why they are criticizing the movie? Because of the bad cinematography, because of the average graphics, because of the not so good visuals, the VFX. I'm also not much into the technicalities, but yeah, can say I must say the movie was not that sophisticated. It was not that good when it comes to the technicalities. The technical aspect of a movie, that fine touch, that polished nature, it was not there. Maybe because the director was not that experienced, or maybe they didn't have the sufficient or adequate funds with them, the resources with them, the know-hows, the technical nitty-gritties. Maybe because of that. And even at some point of time, we felt like I even laughed. It is a very very serious movie. The issue that it raises, it is very serious, it's very sensitive. And I personally, coming from the same group, you know I find myself, on the right side, on the right wing of the political aisle, or we can say, like, have some conservative components in me. Like, I am liberal, I am rationalist, but at the same time, the division can be actually fundamentally questioned. Like, on what basis are you dividing the people into left and right? Because not everything applies here as it does in the West, from where we have taken these concepts, left, right, conservative, and liberals, republic, democrats. But still, so, but on the technical front, I would say that the movie was not really absolutely good, great, or perfect. But the theme that it raises is actually appreciable, is actually good. Because I, coming from Bhopal only in Madhya Pradesh, have read about quite a few instances wherein the identity by the guy, by the boy, was concealed, and then he went on trapping the girls coming from the Hindu community or from non-Muslim community. And like, it is a pattern that we have seen across the places, and there is some reality to it, there is some facts in it, there are some facts in it. And at the end of the movie, what the director has done is that he has compiled all the prominent cases, and he has given the references, the news reports, and the newspaper cuttings, and the reports that were filed in the police station, the cases, in the courts that are going on, or that went on. So he had given the broader elaboration about all of these cases, so as to give it a credibility, that look like we aren't making the film out of the blue. It is not merely a WhatsApp forward. It is not just the uh, bullshit, so to say, to be very precise. But it has got some content in it. And this is the role of the cinematographers, the movie makers, filmmakers, to show the reality of the society. Not the norms of the society, because we already are aware about the norms of the society, but about some ugly truth, about some harsh and uncomfortable truths about the society, so as to make the people aware and familiarized, so as to, like, open the eyes of the people. Look, that is happening, that is actually happening. and that should not happen again. That should not happen with you, with your daughter, with your sister. So for this, like, it becomes important to make a movie, even though, like, it is not a norm. Love jihad is not a norm. Not every girl is being trapped. There might be some genuine love cases wherein the guy is Muslim and the girl is non-Muslim, and the intentions are pure. Maybe the guy is really literally a liberal secular Muslim, not a radical one. But here in this movie, what has been shown is that, like, Muslims, but particularly the lovers, the guys, because it has an agenda. If not a propaganda, it has an agenda. It is trying to showcase the cases wherein the Hindu girls were actually deceived, were trapped, in the love. And then actually the Muslim guys, they go on marrying them, and then they come to know about the ugly side of their families, their rituals, their values, their real intention there. I mean, the that of Muslim guy. So this is what the movie basically tries to portrays, and it portrays through the three main stories. The movie basically revolves around the three stories that go on parallelly in three different parts of the country. There's a girl who is a YouTube maker, reel maker on the YouTube or Instagram, and aspiring to be a influencer, a celebrity. She is merely 16-year-old, and she doesn't know much about her own religion, about Hinduism, and she's not very mature or very grown up. All she knows is that she wanna make the reels, and her mother actually do not approve of her making obscene reel, revealing the body and all. And at the same time, like, she faces the rejection, dejection, or she is not accepted in her family. And at the same time, there's a guy in her life, and the guy actually gives her the emotional support, is there standing with her. And the guy is full of lies, because the guy says that, come with me and marry me, like, I'll support you, I'll give you enough freedom and liberty to make the reels, to you know pursue your career, your passion. And the girl, because she is now rejected from her family, she elopes with that guy, marries, even converts to Islam. And then she enters into the house, and then what follows is that she is deliberately impregnated by the guy, because she protests. And then she, like, is put with a lot of fetters, I mean, reigns. I mean, there are so many limitations, foundations on her liberty, which is the usual case in the Muslim families. So she feels like there was enough freedom. I was better there at my own house only than coming here. This is the story of this 16-year-old girl, which is later actually, like, killed. Let me not reveal the entire story, and give you the spoilers, but it is like what it is. And this actually raises the serious questions about the upbringing, about the parenting style, because the mother was really staunch. The mother really protested when she was making the reels, but the mother didn't give her the values that you should do something worthwhile. You should, monetize, capitalize on your abilities, on your mental abilities, capabilities, and skills, rather than, showing the uh, revealing your body and alluring the people, through these cheap tactics. Well, that is also subjective. Some might say that that comes under the category of dance. She was merely dancing. That is a form of dance. So, and I will not enter into that debate here. But the broader the broader intention of the director was to show that there is a girl, and because of the bad parenting of the parents, she gets trapped in the love, full of lies, mistrust, false hopes, and whatnot, brainwashing of her boyfriend. And then she elopes with her, and what follows is only misery, pain, trauma, agony in her life. This is the story of the girl who is from Jodhpur, who is an aspiring. reel maker, celebrity, influencer. Second story is that of an athlete, a girl, and her parents support her a lot, and she's a Dalit girl, and she's from Gwalior, from Madhya Pradesh, and she also falls in love with a guy named Raju or Ramesh. I don't exactly remember the name. And then what happens is that that guy actually, like, she's dating that guy for a year or so, or for even more. Of course, you develop the attachment. Then it is revealed that he reveals that his real name is Shahid, I guess, or something else, a Muslim guy basically. Now, just because the girl had invested in that guy for a very long time, just merely because of the religion, because the girl is not, that very well versed with the religious differences, hasn't seen the Muslim society, Muslim people a lot. So she actually decides to go with him. Not that easily, of course, like she's feeling betrayed. This is betrayal. She's deceived, but maybe because of the attachment that she had developed, she goes with that guy. What happens is the worst that could happen with that girl. Now she later on goes to the home of that guy. The mother of that guy is a pimp, and then she becomes basically a prostitute. She is pushed into forced prostitution, and later on she somehow saves herself. Another story. I mean, all the three stories uh, gradually evolves, and the ending is different in all the three cases. Like the first girl from Jodhpur, she actually was killed. mm, this girl actually somehow saves herself, and the third girl is from Kerala actually. And I mean, one of the arguments from the reviewers is that why the movie is named as Kerala Story 2. What does it have to do with the Kerala? uh, but the answer is that just because one of the stories, this is primarily this is the prime reason, first reason, that the one of the stories is from Kerala, so it can be named as the Kerala Story 2. Now, why Story 2? Because earlier we saw 2 years back Kerala Files being released, and it actually brought us to the ugly world of forceful conversion, deceptive conversion, wherein not only the girls were converted and they were sent to the Arab world, and they were sent there, and then the rapes, and the atrocities that were inflicted on them is like the is what we all know. So Kerala Files had already introduced us to this ugly world of love jihad and its networks with abroad. Now Kerala Story 2 revolves around these three stories happening only in India only, right? So though like the director is different, but somehow there is some connection, some resonance. So the name has been named as Kerala Story 2, right? Now the argument doesn't hold water. Argument from the prominent reviewers doesn't hold water. Like, why has it named as only the Kerala Story 2? So recently, like, I was reading this book from Sudha Murthy, who's the wife of Narayan Murthy, the founder of Infosys, and the book is named as The Daughter from a Wishing Tree. So when I turn the pages, when I look inside, I don't see this story, the daughter from a wishing tree, because in the index you can see there are 20 stories. There are so many stories, and one of the story is the daughter from the wishing tree. So she has named the title of the book on the basis of one of the many stories that are inside the book. So similarly a movie can be named. That is what, like, I personally feel. Another thing the reviewers are saying is that the cinematography is bad. So of course, like, it is bad because of the low budget, because of the uh, inexperienced nature of the director. But the theme, it is like the question that it has raised is actually praiseworthy. So basically I was telling you about the third story, right? So what happens is that there is a girl from Kerala, and the parents are reportedly liberal, progressive. specifically the father, you know, and gives a secular, liberal, progressive upbringing to the daughter. And the mother is somehow religious, follows the Hindu tradition, but is still hasn't taught anything to her daughter, you know. And her daughter, she goes on living in live-in relationship with the guy, with the Muslim guy who is a journalist. And the guy has shown himself as a very liberal, very modern, very progressive Muslim journalist. But again, like it is like this side of guy was again full of lies, mistrust, and falsehood, as it was in the case of the previous two stories, right? And then she discovers that the guy is actually the mastermind of a big network, and he is working for some Muslim fanatic or radical organization with the agenda of Ghazwa-e-Hind, you know, and with the agenda of converting the women by falling in love with them. So it's like what it is shown there. In a second story, it was also shown that that guy, like, who loved that athlete girl, and then married her, and then she gives her to a brothel, sort of brothel, and there it was also shown that there were prize on the girls, like um, these Muslim leaders, preachers, or clerics, priests. They're like, if you marry this particular if you trap the girl from SC community, then you will be given with 6 lakh rupees. If you marry the girl from some other community like Brahmin community, you will be given 10 lakh rupees. So these are like the hooks, like, which will hook you to the movie, something like which is very disturbing, very unsettling, which is very shocking, and is not this is not like something that we are aware of, but they might have happened with somebody. There must be reports, police cases, some incidents on which, like, the movie has been made. So it doesn't depict that it happens everywhere, but like some incidents, they have been cherry picked and they have been presented in an exaggerated manner in order to warn, in order to caution the people, the general people, masses, to beware of this thing, is what, like, we can say, I can say. So this is pretty much what the movie is about. And as I have told you, there are some lapses when it comes to cinematography, the technical part, but the overall and another thing is that the intention could be to earn the money, so the ending was quite dramatic, quite dramatic. um, I don't think, like, why did they do it, but it is okay. I mean, it is shown that in the end, what happens is that the society gets united, people comes to the road, the police gets into action, and they bulldoze, and they run the bulldozer on the house of the culprits, the perpetrators. And there are songs about Shivji, Shankarji, so the ending was little bit I mean, they could have designed it well, with taking some more time. But again, it was a good try, I would rather say. It was a good try, and it should not be rejected completely. And we can watch it, we should watch it. And some of the teachings that the movie gave to the parents, I mean, that is something we should really take. The key takeaways from the movie is that there should be communication between the parents and the children. You should educate them about your own ways of life, about your own beliefs, values, traditions, ritual, culture. Thirdly, there should be some strict demarcation, some boundary that should be drawn by you, that look, my girl, my daughter, you will not be doing this thing in your life. You should not, like, about some decisions, like marriage is a big decision, like who should you marry. So if you feel like your value system doesn't align, match at all with some other non-Abrahamic value system,
or a Brahmic value system, then you can warn your daughters, your sisters about that beforehand. Are some key takeaways that I can see. And girls should be like not emotionally swayed in love at the early stages of the life, but should actually think rationally and prudently, try to keep the eyes open. Not that like if they are getting the support, emotional support from some guy, then they'll entirely fall in love with them and sacrifice their entire life for them. No, that should not be the case. The other aspects should be considered about the life of the guys can be a message for the girls in the young age. So yeah, like just because I had given 2 to 3 hours to that movie, so I thought that let me give my own reflections and reviews about the movie. I'm sorry if I said anything wrong, and we'll keep reviewing the movies we watch on the regular basis, is like what I think. So with that, Karfit Jain signing off. Jai Hind.